All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our first ever live unboxing event. We got in our brand new Sony FS7 Mark II. This is the one with the kit lens. We're pretty excited to take delivery of these. We got two of them in advance of our upcoming Alistair Chapman event here at Z Systems. So without further ado, I'm gonna start opening this thing up because I'm excited. So far, I like not having to cut anything open. All right, let's look at the little bits and bobs. Oh. BPU-30 battery. That's probably just going to stay in the box forever. Power cords for, I would assume, the battery charger and AC power. Let's see here, what do we got in here? Got a bunch of stuff in this little bag. The IFU-WLM3. This is the wireless dongle adapter for doing Wi-Fi control of the camera. A manual. Advertising for Catalyst. Extra hot shoe, well, I guess cold shoe adapter for the top handle. The ever popular little remote thing for controlling the camera that nobody ever uses. Oh, the firmware CD, or I guess manual CD, not firmware. And then just a bunch of little paperwork things for the different devices. We've got the AC power adapter. Looks like the same one that came with the FS7 Mark I and the FS5. What is in here? I don't even know. Oh, I bet you I know what these are. So one of the things that they did is they updated the viewfinder and microphone holder. So I think these are the little bits and bobs for all of that, and an extra rear plate for where you attach the XDCA FS7 extension unit. So move that over here. We've got a metal plate for something. I don't know what this is. I'm sure it's in the manual. Along with the updated mic holder and viewfinder structure, they also updated the viewfinder itself, which is nice. So we've got like a little pop-up sun hood. If you want just the LCD viewfinder, it's got a sun hood, clamps right on, also protects the viewfinder. That's kind of cool. Didn't know that was coming. What else can we get at? All right. So this white box here, let's get this out of the way for a second. This is the brand new 18-110 OSS lens that they are packaging with the Mark II as the kit lens. This is also a really cool device. I got to take a sneak peek at one the other day. One of our customers ordered just the lens and that came through. So get rid of that. Lens bag, always good. Lots of packaging. Let's just get everything out of the box here. All right. So this is the lens itself. It's a little bit smaller than the 28-135 that came with the FS7 Mark I. A couple of other key differences other than just being wider. at 18 millimeters versus 28 millimeters. There is a dedicated focus gear ring on here for using a manual follow focus or an electronic follow focus. We've got a slightly different location for a lens support on the very front of the lens. This support, which on the 28 to 135 you could rotate around, is now fixed in position. It is removable with just turning that and then popping that off, which means your Berkey Systems top plate in lens support won't work with this because you can't rotate it around the way you could with the other one. But it is a lighter lens, so supporting it is maybe not quite as critical. Another cool feature about this lens is it has hard stops in manual focus mode. It is not an electronically controlled focus. It is not fly-by-wire. It is physically connected to the focusing elements. And that is the same for the zoom on this. In manual mode, you are connected directly to the zooming elements of the lens, so you won't get any lag like you did with the original kit lens. When you press that rocker switch, it's going to just start zooming. And then we've got an aperture ring, which on this one can be clicked, so you get your discrete steps, or you can go declicked, so it's just a nice smooth aperture. What else do we have on here? You can lock the iris. You've got your little switch for zooming in and out, and optical steady shot, which has also been updated with this lens. It is a Super 35 only lens, whereas the 28 to 135 was a full, covers full frame, so you can use that one with like an A7 camera. This one is not full frame. But all around, I think it's a really great improvement for a kit lens. The biggest complaint that we ever got with the 28 to 135 is that it was not wide enough. This should, address those problems. And then we got a new lens hood, which has a, flip, open hood cover on it, and then there is a dedicated lens cap on this lens, which the 28 to 135 did not have one of these lens caps for it. All right, so that's the lens. What other goodies are in the box? Styrofoam, always a goodie. Battery charger, same old, one that they've been using forever for the BP series batteries. All right, this is the remote hand grip, which has been slightly redesigned. Feels a little bit bigger than the other one, or the old one. New to this one is this thumb screw on the outside for adjusting the length, whereas on the older FS7 Mark Is, there were two Phillips head screws on the inside of the arm, so if you needed to adjust the length of it, you actually needed a tool. And now it's just a thumb screw. The rosette mount on the side for where it mounts to the camera is also a thumb screw. And it looks like it's built a little differently, so your FS7 Mark I shape arms are not going to work with this, unfortunately. We really like the shape arms for their ease of adjustment, particularly in the elevation up and down, because it was just a push button adjustment. But step forward, we'll see how it works out in the field. Otherwise, it looks pretty much the same as the old remote arm grip. And then the new viewfinder. Actually, I don't know that the viewfinder itself has changed, but I know the accessories built around it have. So first thing to notice, the bar here for attaching it to the camera body is rectangular instead of circular. This will keep the viewfinder from sagging when it's attached to the camera, which was a big issue with the Mark I. Let's get this tape off of here. This looks like pretty much the same old, not quite the same old attachment. Let's see what they did differently here. It looks like the top mount on here is a little bit different, a little less prone to maybe just getting bumped and falling off. It clips in, and then the bottom adjustment is, or the bottom attachment is, the way it used to be. Yeah, I mean, pretty much looks same old with a couple of new tweaks. And then the camera body itself. All right. So, visually looks very similar to the old one. I do believe that all of the top plates and base plates will continue to work exactly the same, or be compatible. One thing that I saw online, which I really do think is a huge improvement, is this microphone holder. Now clamps onto this 15mm rod that runs through the top handle, so you can do independent adjustment of the angle of the shotgun microphone. It also is a little bit more robustly built. Being that we rent these cameras out, I've had to repair the microphone holders on our Mark I's a number of times, and it's always not been fun. And then we've got, on this side, we have the receiver for this guy. Of course, it's going to make me look inept. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's really secure. It's not going to rotate without you loosening it up and intentionally rotating it, which is very nice. Another new feature of the FS7 Mark II is the locking lens mount. So let's see if I can get this to work. So instead of being, it is E-mount, so it is the same mount as the Mark I. The difference is that it is a locking ring instead of a bayonet style. So with the Mark I, you put the lens in and then you rotate it until it locks. This one, I believe you just put the lens in, oriented properly, and then rotate this ring here until it snugs in place. And that keeps lenses from rotating in that bayonet mount. So if you're using a follow focus, either mechanical or wireless, that can cause the lens to shift in the mount if it's not locked in place, which, if you're doing a focus pull on the fly and that lens shifts, the image will shift with it. And so this is designed to prevent that. It's also built to be a little bit stronger of a mount than the Mark I. This is supposedly as strong as the FZ mount is on the F5 and F55 cameras, which is a pretty robust lens mount that supports quite a bit of weight. So there's a little release up on the top. So you pull that, then you can rotate this locking ring and then pull out your lens cap. But we're going to leave that in place. There we go. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but all around I think it'll be really good. This side of the camera looks same as it always has. Viewfinder port, 2 XLR ports, your controls for line mic and phantom power. Back of the camera also looks pretty much the same, 2 SDI ports, HDMI port. And then in your rear hatch, you've got your XQD card slots, your utility SD card slot, and the USB port for, I guess, downloading over USB. This side of the camera, we've got a couple of extra customizable buttons. The FS7 Mark I had 6 total assignable buttons. This has 10, and the extra ones are 7, 8, 9, and 10 right here on the side panel, which is awesome because there's tons of customizable features that you can assign to buttons. That's nice to have one push access to, and we'll see what if there's anything new in here. I know something that people have really been looking for is a one button center crop. I don't know if that's going to be an option on here, but we'll find out at a later date. We've got our audio controls. We've got our low, medium, high gain or ISO, our white balance. The other really cool new thing with this camera is the variable ND. So with the Mark I had 3 built-in ND filters. This has a continuously variable ND filter, like the FS5 does. So instead of having to decide 1 stop, 3 stops of ND, you can turn the ND on, and anywhere from 1/4 to 1/128th ND filter, you can dial it in using your iris dial. There's a little switch here for flipping between iris and ND. You can set your presets. So there are on here 1, 2, and 3, and clear. So in the menus, you can set 1, 2, and 3 to be a specific ND value and just flip back and forth between it. Or you can do variable and just dial it in. I think that pretty much does it for what's new with the FS7 Mark II. I'm excited to get this thing assembled and take it out in the field and give it a try, which hopefully I'll do over the next couple of days, and I'll report on my findings on zsys.com, probably in a blog post. And I think that does it. I don't think there's anything else in this box that I need to dig out. So, no, nothing there. Yeah, I think that'll do it for this unboxing video. I hope you enjoyed it. It will be available, for all time on our YouTube page. Just thought it'd be fun to try doing something like this live for the first time. So, hope you enjoyed it, and that's it.